Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the CommanderSmiths at patreon.com. Welcome to the CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowery Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
This is episode 204.
God, I don't know how you're so good on checking about where we're at.
Well, that's how I start my notes for each week. I'm like, all right, first thing first, episode 204. Are you going to have any more of that drink this week? No.
No. Share it with my wife. She was not impressed either.
She was. You just got to remember to save me some. So when the next time we see each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll definitely set some aside. I'll save it. I know it's gonna fly off the shelf.
Don't drink it all, Lowry. I know it's your drink of choice, but yeah.
I'll share that with my son when he turns 21. That's when I'll sit on the shelf for a while.
So what are you drinking instead then today? You got it looks like a darker beer that
also
you're
not very good.
Not very good.
And this is from a patron, that hockey guy. And this is Founder's Lizard of Cause.
Isn't his name like I Book Hockey or something?
Yes,
like he likes
you
hockey.
do.
I Book Hockey.
It's an imperial stout brewed with blueberries, chocolate, and vanilla, aged in bourbon barrels. And it sounds like it should be really good.
That sounds like
it's not very good. I think the blueberries kind of fuck it all up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thanks for nothing, I Book Hockey.
No, he gave it to me because he knew it was bad. So he's like, I'm just trying to get rid of it. I'm like, oh, well, I got a backup beer that I'll get to. This all-star right here, Philosophy and Velocity, East Coast Edition. This is from AleSmith, which is a very good company.
It's another really Smith.
Yeah. Maybe we should get him on the cast.
Yeah, exactly.
Blend of Belgian-style quad ale with an imperial coffee stout. This is really good. But now with my new light, it's really fucking hard to show.
Oh, I can see it.
Stuff.
Yeah. All right, sweet. I am going to try here. It's a handcrafted Old Smoky, is it Gatlinburg? Yeah, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It is a mango habanero whiskey.
That'll be interesting.
So this
Old Smoky.
Yeah, so we'll see.
You think they're related to Little Smoky?
Little Smokies. My wife tried a little bit beforehand. This is my first taste here, so. Ooh. It's not very there's some whiskey in there. That's not bad.
It's just
you can tell it's good for my. Whoa, it does have a burn to it. Oh.
So does it taste like when you throw up really spicy, but catch it in your mouth and then re-swallow it? Is that how it is?
Exactly.
I miss that. I miss that taste and flavor.
Oh god damn! Oh, college years. It's, ugh.
Yeah, I just ate two, buffalo wing baskets from Apple Wings and
Wings,
Applebee's. Just cut. What are we doing here? Let's just quit.
Apple Wings. I am not wearing a robe, just so you know. I'm not taking the bit of the robe. It's just cold. I mean, we've been minus 20 whatever.
Do you need a robe?
It's cold. So no, I have my magic blanket that I have over my shoulders, but I see you have a new robe on.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You are
the Batman.
The Batman.
Yeah, I got this as a Christmas gift from my in-laws. This one's hot. It's hotter, so I don't think I'm going to wear it very often.
Put the hood up and everything.
Yeah.
As you know, I built this spiffy looking shelf right there. So now all my cards those are all my decks on the one, all the yellow stuff there. So
you have all of your decks and then all of your tokens on the other.
Well, so the idea of it was it's like my game day shelf. So we have a lot of people that borrow our decks and stuff when we're playing, when we have a lot of people over. And then I have the bottom shelf is all my little, the tokens counters, and then my dice, and then life token stuff at the end there. Cindy actually bought me these. I don't have them yet, but they're like these handmade bowls, like made out of wood, that are coming. They're all funky looking, so those will all hold those. But the idea is, we have people borrowing the decks or borrowing my deck or whatever. They can come in here and grab that, and then the tokens are there too. Those are probably temporary. As I build more decks, they will start to go up on those shelves. And actually, I have the lower shelf as my decks to.
Why are you gonna more decks? Like, are you gonna do like the 32 deck challenge or something?
Whoa! Look at you and your transition there. What are we doing today about the with our main segment today?
We're gonna talk about just the 32 deck challenge in general. What is it? Pros and cons. Anything beyond that we might get into. Cure for the common game. We'll talk about that a little bit because that seems insane.
It seems so insane. So
I'm impressed.
We'll have a discussion with that a little bit for the main segment. We have a staple versus with Dockside Extortionist. That is my guy against
my better guy is Smothering Tithe.
Did you think you had Dockside Extortionist?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
You like look at your notes. Oh wait, I don't have any notes. Just kidding.
My notes are that.
I just see a white piece of paper.
Yeah, I know. It's
it
32 deck challenge. 847 decks.
I have a front and a back of notes. These are my notes. Well, shit.
Why do you think I kept on asking? What are we doing?
If you would have looked closely there, I would have given away what the Stump the Smith Savant was. So this,
I can't see anything anyway.
This week we have Matt the Monorock again. I think he has tried to stump you once or twice before. So we have that going on. And
I think last week was his wife. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, you're making me think.
I need to look at their icons. I'm sorry if I messed that up, but either way, good luck, Matt.
Yeah,
because I'm on my game. It doesn't matter.
Well, do you remember what our prize was for the Stump the Smith? Because last week was week 1. I haven't.
Oh, that's a good question. What
did we say? What did we say? So we have the wedding rings as so the other thing is we still
Umbris?
have the.
We're giving away full art.
There you go. There we go. I got to write that down so I can actually purchase that and get it going. I'm just confident that you're not going to get stumped is what it is, Larry.
Oh, wow.
But we also do have our other giveaway of December being our most downloaded month. And so for everybody,
you can't even see that. The glare's too bad. But this is like the bottle.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. This is the first time. I got this like a year and a half ago.
So the glass looks like a bottle when you...
Yeah, I might see if I can turn that off.
Yeah, you still have a glare from your screen.
Motherfucker.
It's just like right in the middle perfectly.
All right.
So we had the most downloaded month. So we on Twitter. So this is the big thing to win potentially one of the prizes, which is the wedding ring itself. You have to go on Twitter and retweet the original thumbnail with all the stuff on it. If you've already retweeted it, you can't do it again. So it's really just trying to get those retweets out. And then for patrons, you guys are just automatically entered in for $5 or more. If you're a $5 or more patron to win the quip and or the full art, extended art wedding ring. So those are the prizes that we have going on. So I don't know. Is there anything else? Well, I got something funny to talk about. So you know the gift that Gwen sent and yours is sitting there right on its nice shelf back there? Yep.
Yes.
And mine is right there next to me, the booby picture.
Hello, boobies.
Hello, boobies. Oh, damn it.
Okay, kill him.
Oh, shit. No, get to
There we go.
Hello, boobies.
Thank you. So my sons were talking to Cindy the other night, or Zeke, the youngest, was talking to Cindy. He's like, I like going in Daddy's podcast room. And Cindy's like, well, why? And she's like, I like the boobies in there.
Oh my goodness.
4, almost 5-year-old is all about the boobies. So they often come in and just pretend like they're watching me do stuff, but all they're doing is looking at that picture.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of trouble. A lot of
those
trouble.
Those socks that just stand straight up by themselves.
They'll probably like hide it behind the picture. That's
God,
really, what's that smell?
I don't
know that smell. I don't think you should. I don't think you should. Did you get caught when you were a boy?
Oh, I for sure got caught. That's not the story I was going to tell.
Did they say something? Or did they just go, I threw away some of your clothing?
No, I've told you that story before, haven't I? Where I was home alone and, it's dial up. So like the porn that you freaking try to download takes like 2 months for it to download. Like it's you 5 seconds. You remember way back in the day.
Yeah.
And, my mom and my stepdad were not very computer literate. So you just minimize the download and they didn't realize it was there and it just was sitting on the computer. That's not the point of the story. The point of the story is I was home by myself. If you remember my mom's house, when you walked in that front door, you could see all the way to the TV room, which is where our computer was.
Yeah.
Well, I was self-exploring and my stepdad busts open the door to the house, walks in, and I'm like all scrambling. And he walks into the hallway, and I just hear him go, "Oh, gross!" And then he walks upstairs.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, that wasn't the embarrassing story I was going to tell. The embarrassing story is Nick, my brother. It was one of the years I was home from college, and he was still living there. He's in his room.
Well, he's younger than you too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had my stuff all in there. He used one of my shirts, and the bad part about it is I went to put the shirt on, and it was crusted.
That's
like. It was just like, it was all matted together like this. Just
I don't think you ever told me that.
No.
I would have protected my luggage around him if I knew that.
What the fuck, Nick? Why are you grabbing my clothes and doing your stuff on and just throwing it back in there? Oh my God. The worst is I put the shirt on and I'm just like, well, what is, and it's a black shirt so you could really see everything.
At least it was like crusty. That's the
it was
silver lining, right?
I think we just lost a lot of our listeners now. They're really grossed out.
Yep.
Whoopsies.
All right. Well, good night, folks.
I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this whiskey, man. This is I'm not. It's burning more than like.
Do you need to go get like some Coca-Cola?
You mean mix it?
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be good.
I mean, whiskey and Coke, but
it just is weird. I'm going to be making the faces this week.
Good.
Okay.
That's good.
Is there any... dude, you got booster, didn't you?
How did. You feeling? I was pretty rough Sunday and pretty groggy, cranky today, but I didn't sleep well Sunday night. But,
Did you get like fever and all that stuff? Or
no,
is it just not?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it just wasn't a little bit of queasiness. And we got our flu shot too. And so that probably didn't help.
Double whammy.
Yeah. So, but we were fine. We got it on Saturday morning and we're pretty good all the way till like dinner that night. And then it was kind of like, we're both pretty tired, but not like, it wasn't nearly like the second shot. The second shot, I was just like, I cannot keep my eyes open.
Oh, yeah.
Like I just had to sleep for like an entire day. This time was like Saturday. I was all good. Went to bed. Well, I didn't go to bed on time. I should have, but that was the other, like I just was on YouTube until like 2 a.m. and I was like, I really should go to bed. And every video, I was just like, I really should. And I was just like, what am I doing? This is stupid. This is stupid. So like, the next day I was really fucking tired. And So
I find myself getting caught in those.
Oh my God. It wasn't even that. It was just normal, not normal. It was normal videos, but I was watching like math stuff. I don't know why I do this to myself. I don't understand 75% of it. And I was just like, oh, that's really cool. Like there's like something called a 4-2-1 loop where.
Oh, you posted that on the
I
Discord.
Did. Yeah, that was the one that got me. And then I just kind of listened to watch that. But okay. So real quick nerd shit right here. So there's an equation or like kind of like a sequence of every number. If you apply it, if it's even, you go times it by 3 plus 1. If it is even again, you do that again. So times 3 plus 1. And then if it ends up odd, you divide it by 2. And so you always, if you do that always, it can go up, 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 or down, 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 but you will always end in a 4-2-1 loop. Because you end up at 1, times that by 3 plus 1 is 4, divide 4 by 2 is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then it ends up in the loop. That happens for every number that they have applied it to, up to 2 to the like 232nd power. Like it's a ton of numbers. And I just found it really interesting. Like they graphed some of the stuff by like when they did it, they could see like coral or trees like forming. And so that's the part that made it just kind of go like, God, so many cool equations are like for some reason look natural. Mm-hmm. And that's why the Matrix is real. And so it's just kind of like it's just really wacky ass shit. Like the Fibonacci sequence is found all over nature and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And so I have a friend who is a doctorate mathematician from high school. He lives in South Africa and he's a professor on theoretical planes of existence. And so like I'm like, what the fuck is going on with just this really basic thing that they're talking about? And he's like, oh, I haven't heard about it, but this is what's going on. It's like, okay. And so I can't never remember it starts with a V. I want to say that it's Vortex. Like the football. But that's why I'm an idiot, and that's why I ask him questions about math. There it is.
Well, now I want to watch that video, so I'm probably going to go back on the Discord and try to find it.
It's an interesting video. It's like 20 minutes, though, but...
I'm sure they have to go through the whole, like... they do the bit you're saying... It takes a while to get down to that 4-2-1 number.
It can, yeah. And so, like, that channel, they do some really cool stuff. Like... There isn't any actual, they do a video on how and why bikes might work because they don't actually really know why they work.
Bikes?
Yes.
Bicycles.
There isn't any real mathematical or scientific reason why it happens or kind of works.
What?
So like you would think that it's pedaling, like there isn't any one thing and they don't really know why it happens. And so they have a video on that. And there's people that try and prove one way or the other, and neither of them really work. And it's just kind of weird ass shit. Yeah, because you would think like intuitively, like we see it works.
Right.
It's like riding a bicycle. It's real, like I haven't been on a bike in fucking 10 years and I could get on and go.
Yeah.
But for some reason they can't specifically explain it. Because you could, you can say that it's like the force, but also you can send a bike down a hill and it'll run just fine. You don't have to be on it. It looks like it has something to do with like the bike moving or the bike tire being able to move back and forth and be able to self-correct. Cause it's always, I'm trying to remember the video cause I didn't watch it this weekend and it was real late, but you always, it seems like you're always, if you're turning, you always go one way to turn the other. It's not just, you can't just do a 90 degree. You're always rounding it. And there is just a bunch of stuff in there. So that channel has a lot of really cool science, mathematical explanations for what it was going.
What the channel was called again?
No, not off the top of my head. I can look it up. I want to say that it's like VE.
Oh, that's what you're saying. The vector thing. You're saying it started with a V.
No. Their channel.
Yeah.
Is, let's see.
Vagina math.
No, I don't think that was the case.
While you're looking, why don't I just do our quick tags then? How about that?
Veritasium.
Veritasium.
Veritasium on YouTube. Yeah, and so the one 3x plus 1, that's called the simplest math problem no one can solve. I think it's clickbaity a little bit, but
yeah, it is, because I wanted to click it. And I'm like, I could solve that. I could see that right now, and that makes sense.
So like essentially, where they go with the 3x plus 1 or divided by 2 is there's just so many numbers that you can't prove yourself right or wrong. Mm-hmm. So you can eventually maybe find a number that it doesn't work with. But they're just so many at this point. Like, it takes days for a computer to compute it. And it's like, okay, on to the next number.
Oh,
and
man.
like, we don't know all of the numbers. I don't know if they're applying fractions to this idea. And if they should be, I don't even know. There's a lot of fucking shit.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, I know. and that kept me up until 2 a.m. So that kind of stuff.
Well, what happens to me is I go to the bathroom and I'm sitting there, and now it's been 30 minutes and I was done like 25 minutes ago, and I was like, why am I still sitting here watching these stupid videos? Just silly. Including videos like ours that you guys can see on YouTube. That's not my transition. All right, let's go to transition. All right.
All right.
Oh shit, I got to get this all ready. Let me get back to this. I feel like I'm like getting ready for the next segment, and I forgot that we have to give a shout out to a new patron. You could become a patron, like our new patron this week. I believe it is Gus Dollinger. Larry, give me the kid can't even read.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Kid can't even read.
I don't even know why you gave me a soundboard.
I know.
Other than sounding better.
Gus Dollinger, that's what I'm going to say.
Welcome to a meat forest.
That sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
You could be a patron just like Gus there. $1 or more gets you into the Discord. Allows you to chat with everybody and just bullshit around, all that fun stuff. $5 or more gets you proxies each month if you so choose. We have the common, uncommon, rare, and mythic tiers. As you get higher in the tiers, you can get foils if you like as well. So a lot of people have been taking advantage of that stuff. We're a little bit backed up. I did just send out last month, so a month behind with stuff. Today, but then we have did you send yours out?
I haven't printed them off yet.
So for those that are under the Lowery
whoever
batch,
ended up on my list, you'll get double.
You might be getting yours at the same time as the ones for this month. So but each month we send out a notification for people to pick proxies and all that stuff. That's just kind of to say thank you for supporting us, while also kind of giving you guys, proxies, so you don't have to go buy those cards and all that fun stuff.
Right.
The free way to support the show is to check out YouTube. Now, here's some crazy stuff with YouTube. We have a lot of new things happening.
Yeah, TikTok's better. What? Sorry.
We have started. Lowery got us started on TikTok, so that just started. So all our shorts that we do on YouTube, we still want you to watch them on YouTube, but we also want you to watch them on TikTok.
Yeah.
If you have a choice between the two,
watch both.
There you go. But the shorts are specifically, TikTok. That's how it's run. That's what YouTube is doing with the shorts and stuff like that. But the big thing is jump on YouTube, follow us there. Jump on TikTok, follow us there. Watch the videos, comment on there. We do comment back. But the other part to this is we debuted a new video. What do we want to say? Video series, which is Searching for the Spotlight. And what did you do, Larry? That was you this week that did this.
Yeah, so I just started building Umbris Fear Manifest, had a big stack of fucking cards, and whittled it down to about 73 cards, and I'm going to add in like 50 cards. But we'll talk through some of those cards that I added, why I added them, and why I'm going back through them, and then we'll try and cut it down to about 63 cards, and then I'll do a deck tech on it.
So what night does that occur on, and time and everything?
That will be happening on Thursdays, and I'm gonna try and aim for 8:45. I'm gonna try and push it up. It's not gonna be any earlier than 8:30. But this week I'm gonna aim for 8:45 because last week was like 9:10, and I used up an entire hour of going, what the fuck am I doing? And lighting and sound, but I got all that down, so I should be able to just kind of sit
It was cool.
down and do.
While I was building my mountains Gandalf shelves, I had you on in the background, and I just kept running over to the computer and commenting, and I'm like, this is Adam actually commenting, it's not Lowery commenting and all that. But we had a lot of people on there. There was a lot of people that were jumping in. It was really cool. And
everybody that joined, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.
There was like a lot of suggestions, all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. So each of those episodes is they're searching for the spotlight. It's building to the spotlight deck, which is what Larry said will debut once. Exactly. So that is a weekly video series that we just started. You also have one that is a bi-weekly series that you've been doing for a while, and that is Curated MTG. What was your video for this past Monday?
I chose Manglehorn, which is a creature that comes into play, and it can destroy an artifact, and then all of your opponent's artifacts come into play tapped.
It is very good card.
Very cool. I kind of picked it because I don't use it a lot, but it looks like it's on about 12,000 EDH rec decks, and I'm like,
yeah, I have
maybe I'm a little behind them, but I still made the video, and it's a cool card.
Yeah, so that video there, the biggest things with those is just watch it through, all that, give it a like. It will also make it made its debut on TikTok. So any of those short videos will also be on TikTok. So if you'd rather watch it over there, go there and watch that. Also, Proxy Time this past week, what did I do? Fierce Guardianship and Spark Double. So did regular arts with those two. Yeah, I have a list of things that I need for my decks, and so Spark Double was one of them because I kept making decks with Spark Double in it, but I didn't have a proxy.
Spark Double's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Have you done the Commander Legends Sakashima? I think you have.
Yeah, yep. Oh, I did the other Sakashima. I don't know if I've done the new one yet. I might have to. I'll put in that as a note to myself.
Thank you.
So yeah, you can check out that. That is Sundays at 7:30. It's also where I do the drawing for Stump the Smith Savant at the very end of that. And speaking of, well, let's not get to Stump the Smith Savant yet. What's another video? So it's Proxy Time. Do we have anything else? Any other videos at this point? No.
Not really.
Podcast. You can see us, the podcast, everything we talk about here. You can see our faces, everything we do. That's where we'd like you to watch it, but understand that podcasts are a lot easier when you're driving in your car to listen to. So if you have that option, watch it there. I think that's it for YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. That's where you can do the voting for any of the stuff that we do with Stump the Smith Savant. Not Stump the Smith. Staple Versus. I think this habanero is getting to me. Staple Versus where you can do some of the voting, but it's also where you can do for the giveaways and stuff like that. If you follow us on Twitter, you can also direct message us there, or you can shoot us an email at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. And that is the preferred way to send suggestions for this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant.
This AleSmith is really thick.
You're crushing that, dude. Look, I barely had my habanero because it's just burning as it goes down.
Sorry.
And it's not like that. It's not that
just
nice.
Taken a shot.
Yeah, it's not that nice whiskey burn. It's just like a. Well, it's like burning back here.
How about this?
Deep throat.
If I lose the bet for Urza Saga versus Yavimaya,
when you lose the bet, right?
Okay, good luck. But I'll take that shot, and if you lose, you have to take the Malort.
I thought we had. I thought the name of it just makes me giggle. I don't know why. I thought we had decided on like concrete mixer and stuff.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Malort is just worse. So
All right.
Just kidding. We don't have to save it. You're gonna have it. I'll have that next time we meet up. We'll just
There we
share.
go.
Whatever.
Okay, so if you guys don't know how this game works, I am going to read the flavor text of a card. Lowery is going to try to guess that card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, you will hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, you'll hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Lowery gets up to 5 wrongs before it makes a right. No, but before he, the Stumper gets... Isn't it 5? There's a joke in there, but I don't remember. Anyways... So if he gets it wrong, the Stumper for this week, which is, like I mentioned before, Matt the Monorock, would win the card, which is Umbris. Every 4 weeks, we will add a card into the mix. And I think that's it. Oh, if Lowery can get everything what the card does, like casting cost, what type of card it is, what it does, all that stuff, he will get the initials of what the card is. Again, if you have suggestions, send it into the email, CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. Has to be in 5,000 EDH rec decks or more. And once you enter, your name doesn't leave until it gets drawn. So that's the other thing. All right, so let's get to it. This one's short and sweet. Good luck, Lowery. The Great River will not be tamed. The Great River will not be tamed. The Great Great River will not be tamed.
Okay. So, I mean, this is not a strong feeling, but it feels like River says kind of blue. Will not be tamed. Also, potentially makes me feel like it's red for some reason. Like it's a chaotic, unmanaged river. The river will not be tamed. Black seems out of the question. White seems out of the question. Green seems unlikely. More than likely it's red or blue. Probably blue. Maybe a fucking land. I don't know. Let's go with a clue, please.
The art features a merfolk surrounded by green water swirling around it. Green swirling water.
All right. Is this card River's Rebuke?
Wrong, wrong, Shit. Wrong, wrong.
Shit. All right, so it's a merfolk. I thought that was a really fucking good idea. I thought I was smart.
Yeah. You didn't even try to narrow it down with anything.
No,
nope. I got this fucking card right here.
I thought I had it. Okay, so I guess it could. It's not that. Is this card blue?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Ruh-roh, Scooby-Doo. The Great River will not be tamed. The art features a merfolk surrounded by green swirling water.
I'll take a second clue.
The text features your library, graveyard, death, and recursion.
What?
Text features your library, your graveyard, death, and recursion. That's a lot.
It is. It is. Boy, oh boy. It almost feels like a tutor. Almost feels like that green card that's really good, but it's not because that has a dinosaur in front of it for more of the spark.
Great River will not be tamed. Art features a merfolk surrounded by green swirling water. The text features your library, your graveyard, death, and recursion.
So this is where like you break down like where are merfolk from, and which is plenty. Like that's why I was thinking like Ixalan block could have been it. That recursion part makes me feel like it's black for some reason, but they don't really put green in the art. And so like blue seems odd. Green Ixalan had green merfolk, so maybe still in there. This definitely feels like a non-permanent, like an instant or sorcery. Let's go with a third clue. That third clue, though, please.
All right, we'll see if this helps at all. I don't know if it's going to help a lot. Was only printed once in Rivals of Ixalan and is in 16,000 EDH rec decks.
Yikes. So I was kind of onto something saying that it was probably an Ixalan.
Yep.
With the green blue. It's in 16,000 decks.
16,000 EDH rec decks. And you already established it wasn't what color?
It's not blue. So is this a green card?
Hello, boobies.
With death and recursion, library. What was that second clue?
Text features your library, your graveyard, death, and recursion.
Library, graveyard, death, and recursion.
You've established it is a green card.
Is this a non-permanent spell?
Is this a non? So you're saying, okay.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
So this is a permanent spell.
Hello, boobies.
Ugh. So I'm at 3 wrong already.
Yep. Are you going to pull it out of your ass like you did last week?
I don't know. I don't even feel close on this one. That's the scary part.
Start narrowing down other things.
So it's...
You know it's a permanent.
I know
it's a green card. You know it's in Rivals of Ixalan. It's in 16,000 decks.
I just... Nobody plays anything from Rivals of Ixalan. I'm just surprised. I mean, it still doesn't feel like a creature.
Start narrowing stuff down.
So it could be an enchantment? No. It's a merfolk going like this with some green ass swirls. What's the first clue, please?
Art features a merfolk surrounded by swirling green water.
By swirling green water. Like, I don't... Now the bad thing is like, I feel like I would have asked, like, is this a creature? Because merfolk are strong there, but I don't know if that'd allow me to narrow it down. There's some... kind of blanking even on the cool thing that we liked, but that wasn't. So green swirls.
River will not be tamed. Art features a merfolk surrounded by a swirling green water. Text features your library, your graveyard, death, and recursion. Was only printed in Rivals of Ixalan and 16,000 EDH rec decks. You have established it is a green permanent.
Yeah. And so basically my choices are it's not an artifact. It could be a creature, could be an enchantment, which seems unlikely. So it, like a green creature, merfolk, and that right there is gonna fucking stump me. So is this a creature card?
Hello, boobies.
Good job going that route.
Is there is it a merfolk?
Hello, boobies.
Okay, so we have that down to merfolk. It's in 16,000 decks. 16,000?
I'm gonna double check again.
That's a lot.
Pretty sure it was 16,000.
I hope it's not 1,600.
No, I check every time that somebody sends a card. I double check to make sure that it is in. Yep, it's actually technically 15,822 decks.
Oh, that helps.
16.
Okay, thank you for that correction. That helps a ton.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. So it's a creature, merfolk creature, that's green. There's not a lot there. 16,000 seems like a lot. The only one that I can really think of is like Jade Light Ranger. And there's, I don't even know if that's that good. It has Explore. Explore is the term that I was trying to think of. That has double Explore. So this does this. Well, that, I mean, the only one that I can think of, it's probably the only one that's there. The Great River.
River will not be tamed.
The Great River will not be tamed. Oh, no.
The text features your library, your graveyard, death, and recursion. The art features a merfolk surrounded by green swirling water. And the other part, you know, Rivals of Ixalan. And then you've gotten that it is a green card. It is a merfolk. You knew it was a permanent at that point too. That's part of it, but
yeah. Okay, so this might be problematic. So in my mind I have Jade Light Ranger. And so I could be like, does this have Explore? And that would just like X thing one off. I don't recall green swirls around in that art. But there's this one, I don't have it. It's green, colorless, 1/1, and then it gets like +1/+1 counters on it for every like non-green spell you play on it.
you waiting for my facial reaction?
No, I'm not even looking at the screen right now. I'm struggling.
You might be stumped here, little buddy. Unless you got to get some guesses going.
Is this? I'm trying to think of what could help me here. Is it like deep water champion? Is it deep root champion? Deep? Is it deep? Is it deep? It's so deep.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. We're getting fired. Okay. Is the CMC 2?
Wrong.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
So it's a good merfolk, but it's not blue. It goes into merfolk decks. That's why the number's so high, or is it not? Is it a reprint? No, it only has one printing.
Only one printing. We've gone through the
shit
sound bed twice. I think we have a card we're going to be giving away later.
Oh no. Is this one that I'm just going to feel super stupid about not knowing? 16,000 is a lot.
That is a lot. I'll run through everything one last time.
I'm just gonna do it. Is it Jade Light Ranger?
Wrong.
Jesus.
Congratulations, Matt the Monorock. You have won yourself an Umbris. Lowery, if I gave you the initials as WS, would that help you at all?
I don't think so.
If I gave the casting cost as 3 colorless and a green, would that help you at all?
I don't think so.
It's a Merfolk Shaman.
Shit! World Shaper.
Yeah!
Got there. Yep. Oh, man, that was a good one. That's a good card, too.
Yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure that I have this guy, I think.
Yeah, I do, too. Yep.
Yeah. But you get the text features your library, which is whenever it attacks, you may put the top 3 cards of your library, and it features your graveyard into your graveyard. Mm-hmm. Then when it dies, put all lands from your graveyard onto the battlefield tab. So it deals with death because it has to die, and the lands are the recursion part.
Yeah. No, very good. Very good. Fucking tricky.
Oh, we made it to week 2 this time. So congrats, Matt the Monorock. Again, if you guys want to try to stump Lowery, it's pretty easy. You just got to send your name in.
It's pretty easy to stump me, too. Bring up this card that is generally known, and I won't know it.
But just send it in. You don't need to give clues or anything. I'll come up with the clues, but give me just send us an email with your picks, or if you are part of the Discord, direct message me there. All right. Let's get into the beer and pizza of this episode. We don't really have an opener for this one. There really isn't really.
It's not even just the tips. It's not a.
No, it isn't.
Hello, boobies.
Maybe just hello, boobies.
Right.
I don't know. Oh, do we have one? I'm just kind of looking to see if I have anything that I could just throw in there. Oh, yeah. 2? Say what? Nope. I got this one, though.
Holy motherforking
Okay.
shit.
Well, I mean, essentially what we're trying to do. Okay. So the 32 deck challenge is a deck of every color. That's
Every color combination.
Yeah. Every color combination. So it's monocolored, 2, 3, 4, and 1 of that 5 CMC. And so I know CMD Tower did that their first year and a half as they were doing it. Yep. Maybe even 2 years. But and then Plug, I was on there, maybe the podcast 2 weeks ago, their Action 4 News. Are you gonna do good for you?
Oh, good.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
which was pretty fantastic, actually. It was a good episode. I liked.
Thanks. We just
stop it. Oh, stop.
We just talked about creatures that we would like and wish were legends, so we could build around them, and just bullshitted a bunch.
Yeah.
So, so this is kind of like, okay, so
where'd this stem from? This stemmed from the Discord, actually. I believe it was Ted that started talking about it at first.
I have no memory on who started talking about it.
When we were trying to figure out the guy's name, who it was, I think I came across Ted as the first. Yeah. Yep. Ted sent it out saying that the guy had the updated deck. So what this other guy did, which you mentioned earlier, Cure for the Common game.
You can find him on Twitter under that handle.
And YouTube and everything like that. He has built... or is close to, I think he's built every single deck.
He is attempting to build a deck for every commander, every legendary creature.
Every commander. Now, the thing is I haven't delved deep into it enough. Does he do every type? So, like the partners doing every single combination with those? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so.
I think he's just using every one of those. Because I think when they added those partners from Commander Legends, that added so many deck potentials because it's just you can pair them up and all that. But so he had I think, what did you figure out? It was 847
decks
that you could potentially make.
Yeah.
With all that.
That's where he's at. I don't know how many there are at this point. So but still, that's impressive. I'm not going to do the 847 deck challenge. I'm not doing that.
Think how expensive that is. Like just soul rings by themselves. If you're not playing any proxies, and I think that's what his main thing is he isn't not main thing. His main thing is doing the bit, but he doesn't play with proxies.
Yeah.
So just think of the soul rings that you have to get. I mean, they're what, $3 maybe at this point?
$3.
$2-3. Let's say it's 2. You're looking at almost $2,000 worth of soul rings. And that's one card out of 100.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So it's like, holy shit, that's a lot. But anyways, let's narrow it down to the 32. That's what we've been kind of talking about, or we're going to talk about. Kind of the idea of it and pros and cons, I guess, of it. I think it's a...
Yeah. I think it's a cool idea.
Cool idea. I think it's a fun goal to do, to be like, I have one of it. And surprisingly, there's more people... I didn't really know about it until recently, I guess. I don't know. What do you think? How do you
like? Okay, so let's clarify. We have never attempted to do it.
Right.
I think I have naturally done it through mine, but I haven't broken it down and be like, yep.
Oh,
That's not the point of this discussion.
I have just totally done this.
I know I've gone 5 color. I did all of the 4 color main guys from when they did that.
Oh, good.
Not the
for
point.
You.
And okay, so
I'm waiting for you to do it again.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
You're just saying over time you have naturally already
I've done it, but like having 32 decks is a lot.
Yeah.
Right? How many decks do you have right now?
Currently, I think it was 20.
Should we do
21?
Oh, good for you.
See this? All right, I'm having my finger just on the button for the rest of it. You're just looking looking at your shelving.
Oh, good.
I know. It's like 20-ish.
It's like 20-some. It can fit 45
good for
Thank you. 45 on that mountain, and on the other mountain it can fit 50 or more. So, how many decks do you currently have?
Good for you.
16, 18, somewhere in that range.
Oh, good for you.
It was a little smaller than mine, so that gave you the little. Okay, so
like
this is the hard part.
I don't even want to build 32 decks at one time. Like, again, it could be really fun.
Here's the problem with the 20 of them.
Okay.
There's probably 7 of them that I don't ever play. You know, they just built them, and I don't touch them anymore because it's not that they're bad. It's just I like other decks better, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that is the biggest issue with the 32 deck challenge is that's 32 decks. And we don't play. Yes,
that's 30. Wow. Really?
When we play Commander, which we try to get in a once a month, COVID has fucked all that up. But when we play Commander, we don't play 32 fucking games because our games at average probably are 2 hours long. You know, that's our average game. We've had some that are longer.
I mean, we can get like 6 to 8 games in a night.
So
which is a ton.
Yeah, you got to be choosy on what you pick.
Yeah.
Picky choosy. And you normally pick the ones that you have the most fun with, and it also depends on what other people have fun with. There's some decks people really hate and all that stuff. My biggest thing with the 32 decks is like, I think it's a good idea. It seems like a cool goal, but I feel like you're going to build a bunch of decks that are just going to sit on the shelf or whatever, and you're never going to play them. Because you have your favorites, and that's just what's going to happen. You're going to get back to, unless you're a person that plays every week, maybe then you get it, you know, then it's like, okay, that's probably worth it, I guess.
But even then, like, still, it's just like, I want to play, that's the thing. I want to play the newest deck that I just built.
Yeah.
And so once you get 20 some odd decks into this, even when you're saying 20 weeks, like, let's just say first week, you want to play that. Second one, you play that. You're going 6 to 7 months without ever playing any other deck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What if this was the challenge? What if you had to build the 32 decks and you can't play a single one until all 32 are built? That's
for sure. And edging yourself, right?
Yeah. You have to, yeah, for sure. Like, oh, I just want to test this out.
Build your deck, come to climax, and then be like, no. Just set it in a box, put it on my mountain shelf next to Adams.
Okay, so yes, I agree with what you're saying. You build the new decks, your next new decks, you only want to play those. That's just typically what happens with your decks. You get the newer stuff you have recently loved for it. And that's the thing that I think, I guess my biggest point with it is I don't want this to be like a bashing because we both haven't done it
either. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool idea.
It's almost like this is why we don't want to do it. When I build decks, I don't like to the cast has made it, especially in the beginning when we were trying to build one for every commander set.
Yeah.
Things have gotten a lot busier.
It became work.
Yeah, it did. And that wasn't when we built decks. Before it was like, I have this great idea and I want this mechanic to work and I want to do this and this is going to be really fun. The 32 deck challenge seems like work. It seems like you're going to build commander decks that you don't necessarily like because you need to fit that color pairing or you need to do whatever.
Yep.
And so you're going to have these decks where you're putting all this time into that you'll maybe play 2 or 3 times and then you're like, well, that one's done because I got my color filled out. It's just not fun to play. I'm done with it. You don't put your heart into it as much because you're just trying to finish what
that can be the case. Not necessarily all the time, clearly. But like when we're saying work, it's work. We're saying, oh, that's too much for us. I think also in that realm is forcing. You're forcing these decks, or you could be forcing these decks because you want to complete this 32 deck challenge. And when you're forcing stuff, you're not necessarily loving it like you were saying. You're not going like, oh, I really like this idea. Sometimes it's just like, hey, this is a commander that fits this color pairing and I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you're just flying through ideas, throwing decks together so quick that it might not work.
Yeah.
What happens when it doesn't work? Are you just going to leave it because you get the deck?
Right. Well, that's the other thing is it's a challenge, but who's it for? It's for you. Yeah. There's a difference. Like when you build a deck and you build it with like all foils, or you build it with all foreign cards, or you build it like there's this special thing to it. I just can't picture somebody coming to our play group and be like, hey guys, I got my 32 decks. Yeah, I have one of each. It's like, okay.
Great.
What deck are you going to play right now?
Great.
Well, no, guys, I have 32 decks that are they're all different color pairs. Okay, well, what deck are we playing right now? Like, so I think it's such more a personal thing, and that's why I'm having a tough time. Like, I don't want to hate on this like that, but I'm hating on it because it's not for me, and I have to understand, and I want people to understand, like, if this is something that you like to do, that's your personal preference with it, and that's what it is. So don't get mad and unsubscribe and not listen to us anymore because we're bashing this.
Okay,
it's just because we haven't done it, and it just seems like. It seems like I'm going to force making decks when I don't want to force it. Like, that's not how I make decks. So it's way out of my comfort zone.
And I can look at my decks and go like, okay, I've gone through and made, like, I think it also depends on how you make decks, right? Like, I want decks to work. I want them to be competitive within who we play with. And if I don't play with it, like, why do I want to keep it around? And so, like, we're getting to this point of like, if I have 32 decks, how am I going to play them? Because I'm not even playing everything at 16 to 18 decks. Mm-hmm. I have enough rooms for like 20. I have enough card sleeves for 20. Do I want to, like, we've talked about this before, but this is what our decks are in. The Stanley thing. This holds like 8 to 9 decks. Yeah.
Up there too, just so that when we go to do game night and it's at somebody's house, I can just grab it off the shelf, grab the ones that I want. But I'm not going to grab all my 20 decks there. I'm only going to grab the ones I know that I'm going to play.
Yeah. And so, okay, so I'm going to have that. If I'm going to go up to 32, I'm going to have like 4 of those.
Yeah.
I only have 2 hands. I'm not fucking mutant, you know? I don't have 4 hands. I got 4 eyes. I got glasses. That's fine.
You could put it in a bag, but yeah, I get it. I mean,
look, I'm not a hobo trying to drink illegally on the streets. I'm not. Cop pulls me over. What's in the paper bag? It's
you know
magic
what
cards. You're
not
to jail,
bring out
buddy.
32 just to.
That's a
show
kilo
off
worth
32.
of magic cards. Get the fuck in the car.
You keep going with that bit there.
It was a good one. I thought you weren't appreciating it like I hoped you would. That's fine.
Yeah.
What were you saying? What you saying?
I was just saying you're not going to bring out 32 with it because you're going to bring the ones that you want to play, and what's going to end up happening is you're going to always have a bunch of them that aren't going to be played. I guess the other part of it is if people aren't playing with proxies, holy shit balls, that's a lot of money. Like,
yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Well, I mean, look at our collections. Maybe that's the point though too. Where are you in your collection?
Yeah.
Well, like if you have, you know, a smaller collection, like a diversity of cards, and you go, okay, I'm going to put Cyclonic Rift in 8 of these decks, you're just spending X amount of money just on Cyclonic Rifts, unless you have them.
You're spreading your power level out. Like that's what ends up happening is, and that'd be different though. If we did it, we play with proxies because we own the card and then we can play with it. That wouldn't happen with how we build it, but I have to make myself realize that not everybody is us.
Yes.
So not everybody plays proxies.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that most of you don't. And to do this challenge, there is no effing way that you're getting 32 Sensei's tops.
Yeah.
They should all have them, but you're going to only pick out the decks that you like or that maybe need it more.
I don't
or something
even want to
like
make that many proxies of Sensei's top.
Exactly.
I don't want that many.
Right. So it's you're going to sacrifice your deck power level is going to not dramatically, but across the board is going to go down. Your just consistency seems like it's going to drop. And that's
when we were doing 60 card decks, that was a big problem that I had. You know, we're talking a decade ago at this point, but I didn't have a huge collection. It was maybe in 2 or 3 of the single row boxes. Boulders, you know what I mean?
Oh, good for you.
just kidding.
And, you know, I was making bad decks. I was making whatever wasn't standard, going like, hey, these are kind of cool cards I want to play with. And, you know, like if Persist was out, I was playing with Persist. But they weren't good. They weren't good decks. I can obviously admit that. They weren't good. You and Jake had better decks than I did. And but I had more decks than you guys.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't picking, like, I wasn't going with decks that I could win with. I was just trying to play with new cards that I had. That was essentially what I was doing. And that's okay, but I was getting curb stomped every time we got together. And so, like, what I was doing was, you know, I'd build a deck, keep it, and then go on with the new cards when Shadowmoor came out, when Shards of Alara came out, stuff like that. And I was just going, like, just piecemealing decks together. And that might be okay for Commander as well at a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
But at 60 card casual, even that, like, you're not consistent, you're not really working together. Like, but that's one thing that Jake sat down and said, like, all of your decks, you have powerful cards, but you're spreading them out among
all through the decks
out of 10 decks. Jake only had 3 or 4 decks. You had a handful, 6 to 7 decks, and I had 15.
Yeah.
And so, like, I just spread my power out among 15 decks rather than having 5 to 6 to 7 okay decks.
Yeah.
And so that I think can be a problem where if you're not proxying, especially, where you can be like, okay, I'm going to do 32 decks, but I only have 15 Soul Rings. Am I going to buy more Soul Rings, or am I going to find a replacement, cheaper budget reason? Like, this kind of thing is that could
just think
be a
of the
problem.
lands. Think of the lands that we talk about as one of the more important
Absolutely.
things that you need to have for a consistent running deck. When you're not going to go buy all those shock lands, much less you're not going to have that many fucking dual lands.
Yeah.
But you're not going to buy the shock lands and the fetches. Think of that. The fetches that you should be playing and the shocks and all that stuff that you should be playing. You're only going to put those in a handful of decks. You're going to put it in the decks that you're going to play, and then the decks that you're just trying to fill your color pie out with, you're just going to go, well, they're shitty decks anyways. I just got the colors done. But that's the thing is, I guess you need to self-evaluate what you're doing. If this is just a goal that you want to get, just to say that you've done it, great. But
if you're just trying to do a goal, you don't even have to put the mana base together. You'd be like, here's my idea. This is what I'm doing. Cool.
Or even just build it online.
Yeah.
Build it on Cockatrice or whatever on one of the sites and just show that you had the decks all done. Maybe
at
that's
least
an option.
If that's what you're doing, at least do it first.
Yeah.
Do the online thing first and go like, hey, this is cool. Go to whatever local community that you're dealing with, like on a Discord or a Facebook group or whatever. Be like, hey, what do you guys think? Is this kind of fun? Should I buy this? Should I, and I think that happens pretty regularly, but just saying out loud, you can do that too. And if people are like, you know what, you could do this, this, and this, you can listen to them or not. But one thing that I do, even when I'm building, I have proxies. I have enough of proxies. You know what I mean? And even then, at this point, like I only want so many proxies. That's how fucking lazy I am. And so recently, I have Jorn, I had Kadena, which is Morph. So I'm talking green, blue, black. Morph was green, blue, black, and Muldrotha was green, blue, black. And I wanted to build Umbris, and I'm going like, man, my shocks and my fetches and my duels, even proxies, they're getting thin. Like, because I have other blue black stuff going on. Like it could be blue black red or whatever. And so I'm just kind of going like, do I want to print off proxies or do I want to just kill a deck? And
because there's still work on when you make a proxy. Like the proxies just aren't. It isn't like the way we do it. We make it look legit, like actual cards. It's a process, as people know. Get the proxies or whatever. We don't just do a piece of paper that you write on it and just say, "Hey, this is that card." So
it's not just cut it out, slide it into a sleeve, and go.
So at this point, you're saying some of it might be, I don't even play this deck anymore. I don't really like this deck, and it has similar colors. When I just tear that apart and use out the cards that I have in there.
Exactly. So like, that's part of it. Like getting too thin, and that's the first thing that I look at is my mana base when I'm doing that. When I want to build a new deck, and I'm going, okay, is there a deck I'm not using a lot of where I can just like piece some stuff out and just kill that deck? Like Jorn. I could be like, oh, you know what? I can do, I didn't buy 10 boxes of Modern Horizons like everybody else. So I don't have infinite amount of Snowlands.
Yeah.
And I'm just going like, okay, do I want to just put those like over here instead? Could I do that? And then I just, Jorn went away.
Yeah.
And
so you actually did kill Jorn then.
It's gone. It's bye-bye. And so it's just not, because like mainly I think it was because of Umbris coming and just like having a thin land base and wanting something there, along with knowing that I want to do the Search for a Spotlight Thraxamundar later on with.
Yeah, you've been talking about that one. Yep.
Yeah. So like that comes with like wanting to do those specific decks. But like I know when the land base gets thin, if you're not doing it, that gets frustrating for me, just not being able to play spells the way I want them on time and stuff like that. Generally, you can make other concessions on other decks.
Yeah.
Another thing about the 32 deck challenge, or just having a ton of decks, is ideas and like themes. Like, what are you doing in the deck? And this is where this happens to me a lot, is going like, is this deck too close to this deck? Am I getting too similar of a play pattern within this game? So like, and then also, am I choosing one over the other?
So it's kind of like the Gitrog in my Mazarek deck.
Yeah.
Where they were pretty damn similar. And I didn't realize it until you pointed it out. And then I was like, Now I can't not see it.
I'm sorry.
No. And now I have neither deck because then I tore apart Mazarek because I was going to make Chatterfang, and I'm only halfway through with that. And I realized that Chatterfang is pretty much the same thing that Mazarek was. But anyways.
Which I think is fine. I think it's just like, did you want 3 versions of Mazarek? You know what I mean? Like having a similar pattern.
You are doing 2 versions of Calamax because you love is it Calamax because you love it so much.
I enjoy it, and but they're gonna feel very different. My problem, actually, Calamax is kind of the example I have for being something similar. It's because I went instant speed, combat tricks. It does actually feel very similar to Feather. And so they're different cards, but the red overlap in a certain degree. And so
Feather's awful. It's good.
It's awfully good. And that's the problem.
Is that the blow up with Jeremy there?
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry, Jeremy. You're not listening anymore, but that's fine. And so like the you have to kind of make it feel a little bit different. So what I did with I don't know what I did. Calamax is in a weird spot right now. Feather's just good. I enjoy it. It works. And then I just like leave it until you guys are picking on me. You know, it's, but you have to have those decks like, hey, I'm going to pull it out. And then I know that it's going to be just really powerful and look, womp it on the table, or whatever.
Dick flopper. Yep.
You
know how that is. That's what Calamax
does. But you need those. That's what Animar did. That's what, that's what some of the decks do. And so, but I personally look for decks that do something differently.
Yeah.
And because
I look for red decks.
Clearly. But would you want your Perforos Brond in the,
no, I tore apart
Bronze Blood? Would you want that deck and not just but Ilharg? Have both of them.
That's what I had and tore apart Ilharg and turned it into the Perforos.
They'd be incredibly similar.
Yeah.
So you'd always go like, okay, I'm going to play this one because I like this one more.
Yeah.
And then you just leave that other one, even if they weren't the same colors, but like if they were doing such similar things, why would you have both decks? So when you're doing the 32 deck challenge, I think you want to make sure that you want very different decks among those 32, much less 847 decks. I am incredibly impressed. Just that many
point,
decks.
You're just building a deck. You just don't even care about the themes.
I don't know how you do it. We should ask him to be on the podcast for a guest. That would be, and just like, okay, how do you do this?
Yeah.
And just let him talk.
We don't even need to do anything else. All right. So I don't really have much more. I guess one thing would be interesting is, are there other like challenges that you can think of in Commander that would be, or that people could think of? You could
the mono white challenge.
Well, it is the best color. And,
no, it's not.
I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't know. Do challenges do anything for? It's just that's not what I do with Commander though, because it's like
it isn't.
I guess this is our challenge, but it's more of our rules is we cut out tutors as much as possible and counter spells, but that's more of a preference thing.
I think that's play style over deck style.
Yeah. We just wanted to make it more random. And it made it just more consistent decks. So I don't know.
No.
Sorry if.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because you're trying to make your deck more consistent to.
Well, I think
what the deck is doing.
Maybe we talk about this one day. But one thing about cutting tutors is you kind of add in more draw. Draw becomes much more important, and so.
But you have more of the theme going on, whereas tutors you can make it 3 or 4 cards is how you win the game, and you're always tutoring for those 3 or 4 cards.
Yeah.
Whereas it kind of worked with like Magda. It has won different ways, but there is one way that it wins more often than not, and so that because Magda's a tutor, in yourself. You just keep hitting that same thing over and over again. But so that's the interesting thing with when you cut out tutors, you fine tune your deck a little more. Like you said, there's more draw, but then you also make it so that I feel like your theme gets bigger. The amount of cards you need for your theme to work is a lot bigger. Yeah. So, but again, we're not saying if you're doing the 32 deck challenge, we're not saying it's a bad thing. Just pointing out some of the difficulties, especially if you're playing with no proxies. If you're playing with proxies, I think this is a little bit easier, but you still run into some difficulties. So if you're thinking about doing it, kind of weigh out some of the stuff. I think
Travis was doing the 32 deck challenge from the Discord, and he was like, and I'm on my third Naya deck. It's like, and I think that's part of the problem is just like, you're going to want to build what you want to build. And so like, if you want to build your third Naya deck, that's fucking sweet.
Yeah.
But like, you shouldn't feel bad about building your third Naya deck because you're like, well, I'm doing this challenge, and so I really should be doing my Grixis
should focus on this deck. Yeah.
Like just
build decks.
For me, it's build what you want. Build what like the decks. If it's new stuff that's getting you off, go for that. Ooh. If it's old stuff that you want to rebuild, cool. Because that's
and that was the thing. Like with decks, at least for me, and I think you is when you come up with that idea, and it isn't like all. Well, the thing is like I'll be thinking about as I'm building that deck. It's like, oh man, if. You like just the excitement of building this idea of this deck and trying to get it to work the way that you're like, I go to bed at night thinking about it, like building decks as I'm going to bed, like in my head. And that's the fun of it. Like I would love, like that's before we started the podcast, when I would be driving home, which was an hour drive, I would call you and we would just go back and forth with deck ideas. Like, I'm like, this is the new deck that I'm thinking about. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. What about these cards? And oh yeah, it's a good idea. And that's the excitement and all that stuff with the building the decks. I don't think it's for us because I feel like it's forcing things that I don't normally do. Yeah. And that's why I like Commander so much is it is the brewing part, but then the games, getting these crazy games. But if your games are all the same because you keep building, you're just trying to, like you just said, repeat decks and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
I
think we move on.
Well, how about this? If you are enjoying the 32 deck challenge and you're listening and maybe you didn't know about it, but if you're enjoying them, like maybe tell us what you enjoy about it. And then maybe we'll try and bring that up next episode. And just be like, oh, these are some of the benefits that we missed.
Yeah.
If it's something that we didn't talk about, because it does sound like a fun thing, but it's definitely like, this is what I'm doing. I'm building decks. It seems impractical in play unless you're playing a ton as well.
Yeah.
And so, or you just like, yep, that's a drawback. So, I mean, if we're off on the idea of 32 deck challenge, let us know.
We are not off. We are totally right.
I mean, we're right all the time. Yeah. You're so right.
All right. Let's move on.
Hello, boobies.
Round 1. Excuse me. I believe you have my stapler.
Fight.
Versus. I do want to mention one thing besides the staple verses that I completely forgot to talk about in the beginning.
Oh,
there is on YouTube, if you are $100 or more patron, lifetime patron, we do have beginning credit shout outs for everybody that was on there. And it's kind of in the order of our biggest contributors. And each week when we get each month when we get a new person that breaks over 100, we'll kind of showcase that on there. But yeah, so that's at the beginning of the YouTube cast. So if you guys are listening, you're like, oh shit, I want to see if I get a shout out. That is at the beginning of the cast. Only the podcast will see that. All the other bits that we do won't be on there. It's just for the podcast stuff. So I completely forgot to mention that. So I just want to say that. Now, staple versus. How this works is we basically are saying there's one card, or there's two cards, but there's one spot left. And they're kind of similar on what they do.
Yes.
And we're just assuming, there's no price with any of this stuff. There's no, I don't know. There's
no rhyme or reason. Most of the time, these cards are going like, why aren't you just playing both? But you only get to choose one spot. Only one spot.
So Lowery and I are going to make an argument for one or the other and just bullshit. And you guys get to decide by voting on Twitter, on YouTube, and on the Discord. Last week we had Chasm Skulker, which was Lowery's little guy.
Winner.
And I had Psychosis Crawler. Where do you think that this one ended up, honestly?
Skulker should have won by 70%. It was easy.
This is probably our closest one we've ever had.
Oh, is it really? I was figuring that I lost big time.
So YouTube went Chasm Skulker at 52%.
Ooh, that's real close.
To 48%.
Yeah. That's how math works.
The Discord, 50-50.
Ooh.
So right now, Chasm's up by 2%.
So we got Twitter left? Twitter's stupid.
Twitter went 65% to Psychosis Crawler.
Shit, I knew they were stupid.
So the end result was 54% to 46%.
That's pretty close.
Yeah. So that was
close.
That is by far our closest one we've had.
Congratulations.
Winner, chicken dinner. Yep. This week, what do we have going, Lowery?
All right. So Adam is going to be doing the card that everybody hates, is Dockside Extortionist. I wouldn't put that in a deck in any of them. Not a single one.
What?
Yeah, not a single one. I wouldn't even put it in there. And I am doing... yeah. I am going to be doing Smothering Tithe, which is a completely fair card. And that is 3 colorless white enchantment. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they can pay 2 or you get a treasure token.
Mm-hmm.
And
should I go with your argument from last week?
No.
Mine's a 2-drop and yours is a 4-drop. Mine comes out 2 more turns.
Here's the... Go ahead.
Can I do my...
You go.
No, I'm trying to decide if I do my home run hit right away or if I wait until the end.
Blow your blow your load.
Blow your blow.
Blow your load.
No, you go ahead. You typically have your start. You go ahead. This is okay. This is your thing.
Look,
here.
Smothering Tithe is a white staple, and it is fairly fair. It's not really... Okay, I'm going to make this sound maybe bad, but I think what it does is it's a very, very fair card. And what it does is it's not incredibly explosive. It's just...
annoying as fuck.
Yes, that is enjoyable. How is that not enjoyable to just annoy the fucking table?
So... Would you rather be a person that has to go, did you pay 2?
Yeah.
Are you going to pay 2?
Yeah.
Are you going to pay 2?
Yeah.
You want to pay 2? You love doing that?
Yes.
You want to pay 2?
Just think about this. Somebody casts Brainstorm and you have Ristic Study and Smothering Tithe and you go, are you going to pay 1 for that?
Are you going to pay 2?
Are you going to play 2? Are you going to pay 2? Are you going to pay 2? That sounds like a fantastic play right there. I would love
awful. That is probably the worst part of playing Smothering Tithe and Ristic Study is this. That's why we made the Digi tokens. No. Did you pay this? Did you pay that?
That is not the worst part. That is the best part.
Are you kidding? That sucks. No, that sucks. Because here's the thing.
Half the people are on their phone anyway. You're just wanting to talk to them. This is the perfect card to talk to the table.
No, what it means
you just want the conversation.
You can't leave the table to go to the bathroom, to go get a beer, to go get pizza, to do anything, because when it's not your turn, you always have to go back to, you have to make sure, are you going to pay 2? Are you going to pay 2? Are you going to pay 2? You can't go and get...
Asking that is better than having pizza.
Oh, don't! I was just about to get on you with that.
That was a lie. That was a lie. Getting pizzas way up there.
Mr.
That's like right below having sex.
Mr. Last time we played Commander, you left the room, and every time you came back, you had a different food, and then we were going to play a game. What is Lowery going to have in his hand? Because he had a different food every time.
It was so good.
If you had Smothering Tithe out, you would have to sit there that whole 5-hour game.
I did it in between games. It was during I don't know what the problem was.
Did you pay 2? That was my home run hitter, by the way. The annoying. Did you pay 2? Did you pay 2?
Oh, good for you.
I know where that is now. So Smothering Tithe. Okay, here is my problem with Dockside Extortionist is that it's a heavy combo card.
You win the game with it. Whereas Smothering Tithe, you're just sitting there and just building. And then by the time
grindy card.
And then half the time you get to it and you're like, this is late in the game, and now I have like 500 treasure tokens, and I have no use for these because I do well with my mana anyways, and I don't need the tokens to just keep building. I've seen that happen so many times.
Silly. I don't know.
Whereas Dockside, you play it, and you're normally like, okay, Dockside, 10 treasure tokens. I'm going to use that to do this, this, and that.
Yep.
Boom. You're doing something to win the game, or eventually makes you win the game. It helps you on that path.
And that's
to
where
win.
I would say like this is like maybe a philosophy difference. Like I would much rather grind a game out rather than boom wins super quick.
Yeah, you're a pillow.
Not saying
you're
it's on the level
again.
of,
you're a pillow fighter, and I'm a winner.
I will knock you out with a pillow.
I want to win this game, and you're like, "Hey, let's floof each other with this."
I mean, that'd be great if you won more games because you talk like that. But I will admit that Dockside Extortionist, I think it's more explosive. I think it has more combo potential, and I think it could end a game quicker. And those are all problems for me because I don't want to combo and I don't want to end a game too early. I want to annoy people. I want to grind games out, and that's what I want. That's how
why everybody does kill a Smith first.
Explode on all over your face, you're just gonna complain for the next year and a half.
Just on my shirt.
Remember that game where Dockside?
Just explode on my shirt so I can wear it later.
Look. Oh boy. So I just that's again there are those things that I would look at and why I would not automatically add Dockside Extortionist into a deck. Because
Lowery,
of the combo potential.
I wish I had it all lined up better. Oh, I don't even. Okay, yeah, that's it.
You don't even have it.
I would just say build a better deck.
That's all I would say to you, Lowery. You got to build.
Look, we're not CEDH.
Build a better deck.
We're not
build a better
competitive
deck,
EDH. We are aiming for a certain point of where we want games to be and where we don't want them to be. Not saying that Dockside can't be played fair.
Oh, it
can. It can absolutely.
It is. I don't play combos with it. I just play good cards.
Yep. I would just say you got to watch for it, and there is the potential to, and that would make me hesitate on putting Dockside in over a Smothering Tithe. Like Smothering Tithe is how Hull Breacher should have been.
Mm-hmm. But Dockside. See, it's weird because
Hull Breacher is banned.
I
Smothering
play the
Tithe
cards
is
to
perfect.
win the game.
Smothering Tithe is a perfect card. You can say that it's annoying, but it's like I said, it's right there next to Hull Breacher, which is banned because it's fucking terrible. That's a terrible card.
Well, the Hull Breacher is just on another level,
but it's right next to it.
It is on another.
There's one, and then there's two.
No. Your numbers would be 1 with Hull Breacher, and then like 76 is when Smothering Tithe. There's no other cards in there, but that's how much better Hull Breacher was than everything else.
Look,
like we
Hull
knew as
Breacher
soon
was just abused because of wheels.
No, it's so freaking
Smothering
fantastic.
Tithe can be abused with wheels, and you gain
Hull Breacher
20
was
mana, but then everybody else gets to draw their cards.
Because people can't draw is the problem.
That's
with Hull
what I'm
Breacher.
saying. That is clearly number one. But Smothering Tithe, if you
draw.
just What? Yeah, you still draw.
Hull Breacher,
but you still get 20
players from
mana.
drawing. Yeah,
You get 20 mana, and then you're still going to end the game.
Lowry. Linda,
You're still
Linda,
gonna end
Linda.
the game.
Linda. You have like 35 land by turn 3, so you don't even need a Smothering Tithe. You monosync your stuff so well that Smothering Tithe is
Smothering
terrible.
Tithe is fantastic.
It's terrible for you.
Dockside is either a combo.
It's not a combo.
It's fairly good. It's a
a
fairly
good
card.
card. You set
It's a
up to
fairly
win
good card.
the game, where Smothering Tithe annoys the piss out of everybody at the table.
When do you play Dockside?
To win the game.
So you play it near the end.
Middle end? Middle end. Yeah, because you're looking to freaking win the game.
Smothering Tithe goes down every part of the game as quick as you can. You get it, you play it.
The thing is, what I will say about Smothering Tithe is I have seen more often than you think where a person has 20 plus tokens and never uses it because they have enough mana.
Because they didn't add enough draw into their deck.
No, I've seen it, and I believe you might be one of those people as well because you're a Smothering Tithe lover.
I was playing mono white.
I
tried.
There's a lot of times I see Smothering Tithe not like you just. It's giving you. It's good. Don't get me wrong.
Okay,
but
you we're talking about this situation where Smothering Tithe is creating so many treasure that you just run out of cards. That sounds incredible to me. And then you're talking about Dockside where it's going, okay, this card is crazy good mid to late game, and I'm hoping that I have some cards in my hand.
No, that's
because you built your deck as good because
Dockside,
you have cards in your hand.
I don't think I've ever seen Dockside not come down and just wreck shop. Like, that's the thing. Like, it wins. It does its thing. It puts you on the path to win. Smothering Tithe, you play it because you're behind. You play it always because you're behind. That's why it's in your deck. Because
the only reason Dockside is good mid to late game is because you're not playing enough artifact and enchantment removal.
And actually, I know I've played Dockside when another player had Smothering Tithe out, and I got all those fucking tokens. Yeah. And then I think I flashed my Dockside and did it again. Blinked. Sorry, not flash. Blinked it. My bad. It's
whatever.
Blinking it and the new card Saw in Half. Think of that with Dockside in there.
Yeah, I noticed that you did a proxy time for it.
Yeah.
Plug. Look, I'm not gonna say that Dockside's bad. Like that sounds ridiculous, right? But I think you're right that like ETB effects.
Okay, we can just end it right there. You just say I think I'm right. I'm right. Okay, we're good.
Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I think Smothering Tithe is a much more fair card. I think that matters for me. I want a fair card. And in my red-white decks, they both go in. I think this should be incredibly close.
Yeah, it should be.
In the voting. It should be even closer than this last week's.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. It just depends on the type of player you are.
But I think Smothering Tithe should win.
No, I think Dockside, if you choose Dockside, you are a person that tries to win games. If you choose Smothering Tithe, you're just one that likes to annoy the table and end up losing in the end. Because then you have 40 tokens where you just ask somebody every single time, hey, you going to pay two? You're going to pay two? And then you also can't leave the goddamn table. You can't go get your pizza. You can't get your beer.
You shouldn't be leaving the table. You should be playing the game that you're in.
Says the guy that goes and gets a pizza after his turn. I'm going to go get a pizza. I'll be right back. Everybody does. If you're playing if you have a fun group, people leave the table for a little bit to get pizza.
If you don't leave the table for pizza, no matter what, you are unfun.
You are
hear that? Group. I wouldn't vote for Adam one bit. He sounds awful to play with.
He sounds hideous. It's Jake from State Farm. She sounds hideous. Well, because it's a guy.
And men are ugly. Men are very ugly.
All right. Well, now it's your turn to vote. Do you guys want Smothering Tithe? Do you want Dockside Extortionist? You have one spot left. Go out there, vote. Vote on YouTube. Vote. That's the community tab on YouTube. Check out Twitter. We'll have that posted there as well. And then if you're part of the Discord, it will be on there under the staple verses. Okay. I think that'll do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week. We fucked that up so bad last week, by the way.
know.
We were trying to do our sign offs because we had enough booze in our system that. What are you doing? You're already cheersing? No, we got to do.
Well, I'm just trying to see if I can see through it.
All right, we will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
Saga.
I love
You can
boobs.
edit
I'm
that.
talking
It's just
tatas. I
long pause and
love
just cut
boobs.
that
I'm
out.
bonkers for honkers. I love boobs. Thanks for the memories.
It's fine. Everything's
I
fine.
love
Where the fuck's your cheers? There we go.
Build a better deck.